Sticky, bitch. All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of MVP. Welcome back. Thank y'all for coming back.
Glad to be here. Glad y'all are back with us.
I'm Shiloh, a.k.a. Lover Girl.
And I'm Chelsea, a.k.a. the stick-up kid. Ain't never gonna not be. I actually can't even say ain't never gonna not be now because I just got stuck up and I'm
stuck up.
Boys in the hood.
Okay.
Suckers.
Why do niggas want to stick me for my paper?
Damn. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Let's get into it.
It's time for Queer Cheers.
Love it. Well, let's talk about it. In international Queer Cheers, we have a semi-pro soccer player. His name is Jamal Howlett Mundell. He plays for the UK soccer team, and he was on the football blacklist, and he just won the first LGBTQ award, but for men. Every single year prior to him winning this year has gone to women. And so he said that he feels like it symbolizes a shift in our culture, which is so dope. He's a 28-year-old player, and this category for this award got introduced 5 years ago. I love the statement that he made. He said, he takes this award for Black boys and men who fear rejection.
I love that.
Thought it was so dope. So shout out to Jamal. Shout out to you for winning the award. Shout out to you dedicating it to other Black boys in the Black community. And just shout out to excellence.
Yeah, that's dope.
Good for you.
Queer Cheers.
Yeah, thank you for inspiring others, Jamal. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. All right.
Vibe check.
Vibe check, another week.
Some more miles on this body, Chelsea.
Okay. Welcome to May, the very beginning of May.
It's May already. My marathon is June 7th, y'all. It's crazy. I'm like halfway through my training.
Oh my gosh.
I ran a quick little cute 4 miles before I showered and came here.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy that 4 miles is like cute to me now.
You said cute, like just nothing, like it's nothing.
Yeah, like I ran all of it.
And did it feel like nothing when you ran it? Like,
doesn't feel like nothing. I felt sluggish because I took 2 rest days. Yesterday wasn't supposed to be a rest day, but I got 2 auditions. One for a show that we've talked about on this podcast. So pray for me that I get it. You already know. What show we talked about? Sinatra is on it.
Paradise.
Yeah, so it'd be dope to get it. So I'm just praying for that one. But you put your best foot forward in auditions, and you just kind of let them go. And if they come back to you, then they're yours. Like that's kind of how I look at auditions. But yesterday I had 2 of them that I had to put down. And shout out to my homie whose motherfucking birthday is today, Ty, who came through and read with me the night before her birthday. And like, that's the kind of friend she is. I love her. She's the 3rd to our Valentine's Day this year. So
happy birthday, Ty.
Happy birthday to you. Thank you. But I didn't get to run yesterday because I was working on those auditions.
No, you had to knock that out. That's important.
I felt sluggish today. So I wouldn't say it's ever easy, but once you get past that first mile, it's true. It your body kind of warms up a little bit to it. So,
That's so crazy. I just remember like when we first sat down and started talking about you doing this run and how you hadn't done the mile yet. You were just, it was kind of like a thought. And so to hear you now saying like, 4 miles
4 miles,
whatever.
cute. My pace was like 10 minutes and 38 seconds. And I said, what? I wasn't even trying to push myself. And I was under 11 minutes. It's like, it's crazy just to see how your body just naturally adjusts to shit as you go. It's pretty fucking wild.
That's so cool. And I don't know if y'all all have seen how her body has adjusted, but some of us saw those thirst trap photos you dropped on Instagram yesterday. Is that the photo that Raya kicked you off for? I was gonna report your ass yesterday.
First of all, I love Raya because all they had on there was tees, and so I wasn't interested.
Shy, your transformation for real has been. Listen, let me tell you something.
You too. We both out here swimming in our clothes. We need to go holler at a tailor now.
We said we were gonna. We said we were gonna take healthy. We said we were gonna take our health serious, and we did. But you killing it. So
Dog,
Well done. Well
I'm
done.
not even, it's nuts how the weight just shreds because of cardio. Like, I'm a strength girly. So
Yeah.
I was never really into just straight cardio. But now that I'm a runner, a track star.
Yeah.
It's so funny when I say that. But nah, for real, it's just dropping. I'm not really changing how I eat crazy. I do eat less. I find myself not really, like, I fuel myself. I look to fuel myself, not really. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
Do you feel like you look at food differently though?
I
Like
do.
before, yeah.
I do,
Yeah.
because I know what's gonna make me feel good to run the next day and what's
Yeah.
not. And
Yeah.
like, it's just it's weird how it kind of transforms just your mindset in so many different ways.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like there's some things where I look at it and I'm not even that I look at things and say it's not worth it. I'm just kind of like, I think my body in general is like, I'm not really,
yeah.
I don't really need all of that. Yeah.
Truly, like, alcohol is a big thing for me that I don't, like, I still drink here and there. I know, you're all the way
Yeah.
sober, but like, I still drink here and there, like, on occasion, but like, my body be like, I
Take
can
it or
take
leave
it or
it.
leave it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I'm not pressed for it. It's not something I need to do. I might have a drink tonight for Ty's birthday, but like, it's not like I be looking to get,
Yeah. I
It
think
just
when
ain't
you
the
start
same.
flushing out the toxins and the stuff, your body stops craving it. So
Correct.
you really don't feel like you need
Yeah.
it because your body isn't craving
Yeah.
those things anymore.
Yeah.
The sugars and this and
I'm
that.
still
so,
I still got a sweet tooth.
Well,
That ain't-
I was
that
on my
ain't it.
sugar kick for a second. It was like, will you stop eating the Twizzlers? Put them down. So I get you.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
How's
dope.
it going over there? Unboxing and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I moved. I announced
She
it,
did.
and moving was interesting because I've moved a lot in my life. I have
Mm-hmm.
moved. I mean, y'all, I can't count on two hands how many times I've moved. I've probably moved over 15
Damn.
times. I've moved a
Damn.
lot in my
Damn.
lifetime. And it never gets easier. It never gets, there's nothing fun about it. And
Right.
so, now, thank God, I have the privilege and I have the funds to be able to call in movers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But before they get there, I like to do a couple of boxes myself, like
Mm-hmm.
some of the important things. And as I'm kind of like opening things up, I'm like, why do I have all of this stuff? Like I'm looking around and I'm like, girl, when was the last time you pulled out your pressure cooker? brand new ass pressure cooker. And I don't even know how to use it. And it's like I'm going through things. And as I start kind of like putting things in boxes, I'm kind of like, I should probably throw this out or let me make a pile to give stuff away. But no, that's going to sidetrack me because then that becomes a whole nother project. So it kind of I kind of got into this whole nother like, rabbit hole full of stuff. But anyway, we'll probably talk about it at some point. But
Yeah.
I moved in.
Yeah.
The boxes are in my house.
Yeah.
I'm living out of boxes. The
Yeah.
important stuff is unpacked.
Yep.
Got the lotion, can't be ashy.
Nope.
Body wash and all the important
Your
things
bed
that you
set
need,
up,
bed set up
know.
and all that stuff. But I'm going to be living out of boxes for a couple of
That's
weeks.
just
and I'm
how
okay
it
with that.
goes. I don't
No
press
rush.
myself. No rush.
Yeah.
Like, it takes time to get settled, especially after moving. As long as I get it packed up and in, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll look at these boxes for probably a good month or two
Yeah.
because it's going to take, I'm going to do it slowly and on my time.
Yeah.
Don't rush it.
I panicked
stress
because I was looking for my Apple TV. And I said, now what in the world? The TV was on the TV stand. And right next to the TV is the remote.
So why isn't it packed with the TV stuff? Period. Why did y'all put it in a
I
different
see
box?
the TV, so where's it at? And you know what I started thinking? I like the guys that moved me. They were really
Mm-hmm.
nice. But then I started thinking, oh, y'all like to play games. Because last night I spent about 2 hours. I finally found it. The remotes was in one box.
Oh my God.
In the bottom of a box. The Apple TV was in a whole nother box.
Oh, that's dumb.
And I was like, oh, y'all play games with people.
They did.
So y'all do that for fun. But anyway, I found it. So
You know who's out here playing games? These motherfucking people who's gone to see Sinners and is trying to call the white girl. You still haven't seen it, huh?
it's okay. I've seen a couple of things online about this girl.
Okay, so you've seen this girl. Even Spike Lee was like, the 1/8 rule, she's a black woman. It's like, what? That's what you chose to post about Sinners, Spike Lee? I was kind of thrown off by that, but no, there's really discourse out here about Haley. I don't know her last name, but she's
Steinberg or Steiner.
In real life, I think she's just a straight up white girl. In the movie, they say that her grandfather was half black, so that makes her, like probably 1/8 black. And it's like there's this whole discourse on, they say even the black woman, the very black presenting woman, says, she's family. But then there is this whole thing where she walks outside to go talk to these white people, because she knows that she has privilege and they're going to see her as one of... She is a white passing woman. She is no matter how much black she got in her. But it's just like, y'all, we know that there are white presenting people who may have some ancestry. That does not make them, like, when they go out here in the world, they are seen as a white woman.
Yeah, yeah. And
there's something to be said about that.
So what is everybody up in arms about? The fact that
they keep trying to call her a black woman, and it's like, y'all, stop. And it's especially disrespectful to the women that are black and have to show up out here as a black, dark-skinned woman.
Because her experience is very different from this woman.
Her experience is so different.
I was looking into her, and she does have some percentage, very small percentage, because her father is Jewish. Mm-hmm. Her mother is what they said Christian. Don't know what that means.
Are we just talking religion?
Right. What does that mean? Her mother's father, her grandfather, her maternal grandfather, is half Filipino and half black.
Okay, so she's that's the where same as the movie, the 1/8
thing from.
Yeah, baby, she don't present black.
But apparently, in real life, I'm understanding that she doesn't call herself black.
Yeah, so why are we
So she doesn't present as that.
Right, stop putting this on this woman.
History.
Yeah, stop putting this on this woman is what I got to say about that. As a person who's biracial, it's like, I know what I'm not and I know what I am. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I present as a light-skinned black person out here, and I have light-skinned privilege. And, the same thing that Zendaya said, it's like, my job out here is to dismantle colorism and do my part and use the privilege that I do get, because in this country, the closer you are to white, because of how white supremacy works, the more privilege you attain in this country. And I know that. So it's like, I know I'm never going to present as a dark-skinned black woman, and I would never try to.
Right.
Because that's disrespectful to you. It's disrespectful to all the black women that I know that have a very different experience and don't have the privilege that I have in that regard when it comes to colorism.
Yeah.
So
I will say, I think the problem, not having even seen the movie, I would say I think the problem for me personally, if I could just have an opinion about this, is that as a woman that obviously presents clearly as a black woman,
right,
I think when we start defining this woman who does not label herself as black outwardly in her regular personal life,
right,
and she's an actress, clearly she's palatable for a mainstream audience to play these characters, because she technically in real life also is 1/8 black, right? I feel like it starts getting a little bit dangerous, because now we are making it okay, and not that I'm not saying it's not, but now we're making it okay to be like, we can call her black, so now she can play these black characters, and now maybe all the other women that have this little bit of drop can also now just play the black women characters, but they don't have to walk in the same shoes that I have to walk in every day. They don't have to deal with the same systemic pressure that I have to deal with.
Correct.
And so now I almost feel like that's what's going to start, I feel like, getting a little bit dangerous.
It's called whitewashing.
Right.
It's so, like,
we don't have to do all of that now. And we
should not do that.
Have to claim her blackness for her.
Correct.
If she's not claiming it.
And stop letting people that look like her.
She's not claiming it, but she's not claiming it. Like, I wake up
like your mother and your sister and the people that look like you that are black presenting should have. Like, I still am pissed off about the what's that movie with the trains and Regina King, and it was a fantastic, The Harder They Fall, fantastic movie. But Zazie Beetz played a actual known cowgirl. I can't think of her name right now. She was a fat black woman. And that's not what they did. And that's where I feel like as a light-skinned person, I would say no. Hire somebody. And Zendaya talked about that too. She was like, I'm not gonna take some of these roles that y'all keep trying to give me because y'all want the more palatable light-skinned black woman to play when y'all know goddamn well that it should be a dark-skinned black woman. And especially when it's historical based on somebody's actual life. What are y'all doing?
It's like a real ass character.
A real ass person in history.
So
that's crazy.
Right. And so devil's advocate here, right? If I could just be objective, right? As an actress, part of it is, right, you want to book the job because also rent.
No.
Food. I'm just saying, like in anyone, right? Like I'm just saying we might look at it like that.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs a job.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it is, did that same maybe woman that did fit that exact description for that character, did she come in and maybe not give the best audition like maybe that other woman did? So there's also like, not saying that it's okay. I'm saying we could try harder. We could do better. There is a woman out there that could kill that role.
There are plenty of dark-skinned black women that could kill that role.
100%. Because we see it done all the time.
Okay.
Like they
no
purposely
reason
won't
Zoe
look for
Saldana should be playing
100%.
Nina Simone. Like, stop it.
I can't even with that Nina Simone movie.
We're not even going to go there. We're going to pivot.
Anyway,
we're going to pivot from Sinners to the light-skinned Creole woman, Beyonce.
Who is coming to LA.
Okay, she's here. She has landed.
I'm so excited.
Have you seen all these clips? It's so crazy how my timeline went from Sinners to like Beyonce. I was like, but it's all the same shit. It's all blackness that is showing us our stories, like, you know, and our culture and the shit. I've seen the display. It says you don't have to ask for permission for something that belongs to you. That's in her visuals. It's in Beyonce's visuals, and it's been all up and down my timeline, but it's real. It's like, this is our shit. Like, America was built because of black people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's dope to go from Sinners to go to Beyonce, who's very heavy on this whole Americana, American flag, like Black Americans. Yeah, you know, like it's really dope.
Yeah, I do like that the fact though that these conversations are happening right now, especially I think with the climate that we're in, and not to get political because I know we say all the time, you know, we're not going to talk about it, but we do. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's this thing, especially. Even speaking about this woman, it's okay to claim the blackness when it fits the role, and it's okay because I am eighth and da. But it's like, y'all, you don't claim it in real life. You don't really walk that path, and it's like, y'all done got us to where we are, like especially with what's going on in America. And so it's like you don't have to necessarily walk these things, but we on the other end are suffering from. We can get away from it because the point I think I'm trying to make is like I'm angry that. She gets to live her everyday life as a white woman, like a regular person.
Meanwhile, we over here battling all.
But black people still love to praise you and want to claim you and call you black, and you can come to the cookout. But it's like, these are the same motherfuckers that done put us in the situation that we in right motherfucking now.
Go see Sinners because that's kind of the message.
Y'all vote.
Message.
Yeah, anyway.
On a better note, so they say that sleeping next to someone you love promotes the release of oxytocin, which lowers cortisol levels and promotes the feelings of safety and bonding, which helps a faster falling asleep and more restorative sleep, increasing overall health.
Oh,
they
I love
say
that.
Your health is inced when you sleep next to someone you love.
I love that.
Not the enemy, okay? Not sleeping next to the enemy. Sleeping next to somebody you love.
And not an entanglement. We just talked about that last week. That does not mean like call your ex up that you done loved, and just because you don't got nobody to sleep with.
No.
Now you
They bring your stress levels down. Right. They bring the cortisol levels down.
That's
they
not
release
what we're saying.
Bonding and safety hormones called oxytocin.
Yes.
Different.
We love that. I love that.
Right?
It's another reason not to go to bed angry. Like, just sleep next to somebody you love and just let it happen.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back to that. Okay. I do miss sleeping next to somebody.
Same. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yo, so You told me we had this conversation about your about your moving and how you had all these things.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
And you were just like, you were stressed out because you were like, I want to get rid of shit.
I do because on the outward, I mean, we've lived together, so like outwardly, if you were to walk into our apartment, it looks like a very minimalist apartment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we got, even when we lived together, you have a lot of like knickknacks and stuff. Like, I'm more minimal, but You're
definitely way more minimal than me.
I am, but I'm getting to a point where I do like certain things that mean something or function. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do like a house that feels cozy still.
Yeah.
But I can't have too many things because it takes me back to my childhood, and like my grandma and my mother had so many knickknacks and shit in their house that I was just like,
can't do it.
I can't. As an adult, I'm like, absolutely not.
Can't do it. And I feel like I don't want to be that person that can do that. And so I think outwardly, like if you look at furniture on the outside, the aesthetic, it looks minimal.
Right.
But if you
open the
up,
cabinets,
girl, why do you have 68 candles? If you open it up, why do you have a pressure cooker and a crock pot and a da-da-da? And I'm looking at, like, even when I packed my kitchen, I was like, let me pack my kitchen because that'll be like the easier thing for me to do. And as I'm packing, I'm like, I got like pesto sauce makers. Like, bitch, you ain't never made a motherfucking pesto sauce.
You don't even be cooking no more.
There's that. Or like, things to make zucchini noodles and the roller thing. Like I'm ragu, like pasta chef maker. I have things to like slice different kinds of vegetables with like all these different things. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
you never know when you're gonna need it.
Well, there's that. And so that's why I keep it.
Right,
and it's like, when was the last time you used it?
Right. When did you make zucchini noodles?
When did I make zucchini noodles?
When have you made pesto?
Girl, why do you have a pressure cooker that you don't know how to use? The instructions were still inside the pot.
One of my colleagues came to work with scars on her face, and that's when I said, you know what? I'm never using a pressure cooker. Her shit fucking explode. Some she didn't do right. I said, oh, I will never be using that. Now when I got an air fryer option, baby, the air fryer has changed my life. That's all I need.
That's it. If we can't make it in the toaster or the oven or the microwave, baby, it ain't getting made. And I used to watch Hoarders. I used to like watching Hoarders when I was younger, and it's so icky, I know, but
I can't watch it no more.
I can't watch it
because you know that they're mentally ill, and
there is
that. It's so bad when they be sitting in their own like piss and shit,
and they can't let it go. And when I was younger watching it, I couldn't understand why you can't let it go. Let it, Betty. You know damn well you don't need that stuff. Look around you, Betty. There's nothing but plastic bags full of cat urine. You do not need this stuff. Throw it out. But
you know their house just smells like that.
And I feel bad for the kids that are trying to come over, and especially with these, professionals and these resources to like clean their parents' houses out, and they just can't let it go. And it's like, I never understood it. And as I'm like packing my stuff up, I'm like, am I a hoarder?
No, Chelsea, you're not a hoarder. You're not a hoarder.
As I put
you are not
things into boxes,
level.
I said I might be.
No, you just have knickknacks, and like your bookshelves are cute. Like the way you place it is a lot of stuff on your bookshelves, but it's like cute the way you place it. It ain't on no, I can't get to something because a whole stack of shit is in my way. It is not that. Don't even put yourself on that level.
When you dig a little bit deeper and you go a little bit more into it, I said, might there be a mental illness here? Beginning.
Okay.
Might there be the beginning stages of a mental illness forming? Am I in the beginning stages?
Is it the starter pack? No, it's not, Chelsea. I don't believe that. But the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
So
it's also Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Sometimes, you get your mental illness and you get your mental health starts with your
upbringing and where you start with your peeps. And if that's with the person who birthed you or not, that's kind of where it all kind of starts, right?
Yeah. You want to talk about it? Topic of the week?
Let's go.
All right.
We are not professionals, but in fact, regular, degular OG lesbians with life experience who are trying our best to grow and put emotional maturity, vulnerability, and consideration of others at the forefront of our actions. Listen to us at your own risk, because who gave these hoes mics? All right. So we're talking about our starts, our journeys, where they started with our
Yeah.
mothers. Mother's Day
Yeah.
is coming up, and everybody has different relationships with the person who birthed them. So I can only talk about mine, which was unique. My mother did have mental illness. She had mental illness. She lost custody of her kids, me included. She had me for a little bit, but she lost like my older brother, who I never met until my 20s, which you were there for when I met him. But we have the same father, same mother, and she lost him to the system when he was a baby, and then she lost me around like 3.5, 4, and I went into foster homes out here in LA because she grew up in Inglewood, actually. Before the Great White Flight, because she is a white woman. So the time she grew up in Inglewood is more on the white side. And yeah, she battles and still battles what they call now schizoaffective disorder. So it's like mild schizophrenia coupled with usually another, maybe bipolar, or for her it's major depression. But she's stabilized on meds now, and she's much better than she used to be. That I remember her as a child. She was not really functional. And so I was adopted back to her sister, who was 10 years older than her. She had me when she was 40. So I was the last, but she was also pretty old by the time she had me. And her sister, Carolyn, R.I.P., it's almost her birthday, Cinco de Mayo. That is who raised me. But she was older, and so I grew up with her grandkids, so I therefore called her grandma. And so she was who actually raised me. My mother uniquely lived in the house with us as I was growing up, which wasn't always the best thing.
I was going to say, how is that? Because you're living in the same house with your mother, but being raised
by
her sister.
It was a lot of tension. There was a lot of dysfunction. She was mentally ill. My grandma was, she battled alcoholism. She had a boyfriend who was addicted to crack. So it was like, it was a very dysfunctional household that I grew up in. So, it made me who I am. I had to battle a lot of things, I think, growing up as a kid, that a lot of my friends didn't. So I was at my friend's house a lot growing up because it was
let me just get out of here.
Yeah, let me just get out of here. But in all of that, there was joy. There were moments that I could laugh with my mom. I resented her a lot, I think, as a kid, because as a kid, you don't understand why your mother can't be your mother.
Yeah.
And so, she would sleep all day. It was hard to watch. And sometimes I'd just be left with her. And it felt like sometimes she took me on the bus and like got lost, and my grandma would cuss her out. And it was a lot going on. It was a lot going on. My grandma did the best she could do with what she had. She was an older woman, in her 50s, raising a kid, so I lost her early in life. So I always say, I kind of had, my mother didn't really raise me, but she was trying to be there in the best way she knew how and could.
At the time.
Yeah. So we have a better relationship now as I'm older, and I'm able to understand her mental illness, and I'm able to understand what she went through in her past, because she went through some real trauma. So I have more empathy for who she was growing up and what she had to go through and how she had to battle. And, we're able to laugh, and I love her, but I don't see her. I call her Jean because I never really got to really call her mom growing up. I ain't call anybody mom growing up, honestly. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of therapy now that has broken down those things and helped me kind of navigate what that means for me in life now,
When Mother's Day comes up for you, how do you look at this holiday? Like, what does that mean for you?
You know, I give my flowers to my mother because she birthed me, and you know that in it, carrying a child and giving birth is huge.
Yeah.
And so I respect her for that. I respect her for what she tried to be there for. Like, I remember a couple times she would try to come visit me at the foster homes and try to see me. It was never love law. Like, she loved me. Like, she loved all her kids.
Yeah.
I think if she could be there the way she wanted to be there, she would. So it's love, you know, but it's still my grandma. When my grandma passed away, that felt like my mom passing away. Like, because that's the person who put food on the table. That's the person who I showed my report card to. That was the person who told me do better. That was the person who caught me skipping from school. That was the person, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the person who raised me.
She was mama.
She was, yeah. So like, you know, it's I feel like I've lost the person who raised me. So, you know, it's a difficult day, but I still have somebody here that knows me in a way. She still knows me. Like, she knows, she can look at my face, which is wild. She can look at my face and know, like, what are you going through? Or, are you okay?
She knows her kid.
She knows her kid. Like, she still knows her kid. Like, she paid attention to me. It was just, she wasn't capable of doing the things I think mothers are known to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Deep. It's deep because, you know, so many people, not so many, but a lot of my friends that I know have different relationships with their mother that are different from my relationship with my mother. And what I've found and what I've learned is parents and mothers and people you call your father aren't sometimes always the people who by law, you know, biological, end up being that for you in your lifetime. Sometimes they end up being very different people in your life. So it's interesting. Yeah, how Mother's Day comes up for people.
How does it come up for you? How's your relationship with your mother?
Yeah, my relationship with my mom is really, really good. I have a really, really dope relationship with my mother. Growing up, for me, my mother, I was raised in a household with my mom and my dad until 12 years old, and my dad left. That environment, my mother had 3 kids. She raised 2 in the same house. My oldest brother got sent to go live with his father in California when I was very young. So I didn't grow up with my older brother in the same household all of my life, basically. And that created some tension between my mother and him. But I always felt close with my older brother regardless. But for my mother, I think growing up in a violent household, I think for me was tough because my dad didn't leave until I was 12. So from, you know, as early as I can remember seeing violence and understanding what that was, I saw that until I was 12 years old.
It's crazy.
And so a lot of different things went on during that time, a lot of different moves, a lot of different homes, a lot of different, is this a shelter? What is this? Are we sleeping in a car tonight? Like, what's going on? But I will say that one of the things I think that I learned and I still respect to this day about my mother is the sacrifices that she made. She made a lot of sacrifices for these 3 kids. And being older and understanding it now, the sacrifice that she must, the moment, what she must have gone through to make the decision to send her firstborn kid away, to not grow up in a household with a man who was not his dad, in a violent place, that out of sheer love. I can't imagine like what she must have went through. And then to keep us, these 2 kids, and try to keep them safe. So the sacrifices that she made, I only understood that as I got older, right? But one of the things I think that I also learned very early on, and I think I made a very quiet, silent vow, is that I never wanted to feel small or trapped. And I think I understood what trapped meant young.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I decided very, very early on that's not what I wanted to be. And I think I looked at my mom's situation as like a kind of a form of being trapped with these two kids and this man in a relationship that necessarily didn't pour back into her. And so
not only didn't pour, but abused her.
100, all of that, right? And so I think I decided very early on I was going to get out. I don't know what, I probably didn't understand what that meant when I was 12.
Same. I remember looking to the sky when I was like 5 or 6 outside during recess and being like, I'm going to get out of here. Like I knew as a little kid, like I was like, this can't be it. Like this can't be it. And I think it made me like, education was kind of that thing for me. It was like, well, if I ace all these, if I do good in school, then I can find a path to not be this, to not be in this kind of dysfunction. Like, and I know my grandma used to, and she had depression as well. I found that out later when I came back home in my 20s that she was taking Zoloft, and I was like, huh. It makes sense because she used to say things to me that just weren't normal. As a teenager, like, oh, you're so, like just really low self-esteem and really like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be here anymore. Or like things like that I didn't even comprehend in those years. Like, oh, these are suicidal ideations. These are like, you have depression. Like, it's crazy as an adult what you realize, like,
looking back
when you start to humanize your parents, the people that raised you.
And because it was a very long time. I think I was well into my 20s, maybe even late 20s, before I actually started to see my mom as just a woman.
Right.
Outside of my mom, outside of,
correct,
my mother, just a woman, and began to really understand the things that she went through, and even started to begin to ask the questions of, what was your life growing up? Because my mom got sent to a boarding school when she was young. She lived all the way in St. Thomas while her mom and her parents lived in New York. Like from a very young age, she also fended for herself. She had my older brother when she was 16 years old. From a very young age, you know? So, and I didn't know any of these things until I was much older. But I did feel like she had very little room to dream. And I could see that. I could understand. And for me, dreaming was always like, I was writing in my journal. I just always was like someplace else. I wanted to always be someplace else. And not because once my dad left, oh my God, life was great. Like my mom, like we were lit. Like we used to spend so much time together, me, my mom, and my younger brother. But I remember realizing very early on that there was very little space for her to dream. It was a lot about just survival. And I was like, I can't, not gonna be me. And so sometimes I apologize even to this day, because I think I felt a little guilty that maybe she thought I was just like running away, and it was never about her. It was more so like, oh, this little life that you gave me, lady, I gotta do something with it. I gotta do with it more than what you were allowed to do.
Correct.
Because you've
stuck. Done so much. Like my grandma sacrificed so much to put me to send me to the UCLA summer sessions. She was a waitress. This was all on a waitress's salary. You know what I'm saying? Like she did those things to boost me up so that I could take that baton and go further. A lot further. And so it's like, in all her flaws, I love her to death because, and for a long time, it took me a minute to not feel, because she adopted me, right? So I could have been in the system out here in LA for, who knows how long if she wouldn't have made that move when I was 5. And that's why I grew up in Florida. So it's like for a long time, I felt like I owed her. And I know she always used to try to calm that down in me because it just felt like I owed her something. Like I always, and to me, I still did, because it was just like, you sacrificed so much for me. But on top of that, I think when you're adopted, you kind of feel like, oh, this person kind of saved you, So both of them, it was kind of like, I have to do better than what y'all were allowed to do.
I got to do something with this, what I inherited.
Yeah.
I got to do something with what you gave me. 100%.
And y'all don't think y'all did that much, but y'all did. Y'all did. Y'all.
And she showed me how you make it, how you make some shit happen. My mother ended up graduating college, raising kids, going to school at night after work, and raising kids. Like, she did all of that. So she showed me you could do shit. You could still do some shit. So, like, kudos to that, because it also made me.
That's fire. That's to see that in your household, because I didn't really see that. I grew up with 2 white women, and I don't know, like, they've kind of both just kind of gave up on life, and I watched that in them, and I said, that will never be me. Like, that will never be me. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like their coping skills are a little different. Like, because I was around a lot of, my village was full of solid ass Black women. And I'm so grateful to my grandma for recognizing that I was different from her. She knew I wasn't gonna be seen the way she's seen. So she made sure to keep her next door neighbor, Miss Beatty, was like her best friend. Like, Miss Beatty was like my auntie. Like, God rest her soul, she passed away. Miss Major, her best friend, who was actually the
Beale Street,
the mom of her crack addicted boyfriend. My grandma was being a cougar a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? But I was grateful. She made sure that that's where I stayed in the weekends. And my cousins, Shamia and Sheena and Isha and all of them, I grew up with them. Like, that's who showed me who I was, and like, she made sure I was surrounded by a village, and then my best friends and their families. And I saw strong Black women. Yeah. Because I will say that my grandma was strong for what but there's a different level of coping. And I was very privy to it growing up inside a house with 2 white women, and then stepping out of the house and seeing all the strong Black women around me that were dealing with so much more, and still went, still did so much. It was like, there's a difference here. Yeah. There's a difference here. Yeah. Yeah. There's a difference in how the world shows up for people. And I was very privy to that early. You
saw it.
I saw it.
And you saw it's possible too.
Yeah.
And it is, I think it's a choice. Yeah. You make a choice.
You make a choice. You make a choice to give up on yourself or not.
Right. And I think I've always understood that. I think it really is, you make a choice. So you could be sad, and you could be fucked up, and you could be this and that, and you came from this household.
You can lay down and let life run you over.
Or you gonna take it, and you gonna put it in your back, and you gonna proceed forward. Yep. And so there's that. And so I think too, when it comes to my feelings of like, I remember me and my brothers got together and we were like, Mom, throw your shit out. Why do you have all this stuff? Because my mom keeps stuff. She keeps stuff.
Uh-oh.
She keeps
it's passed down.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I looked around my apartment and I'm like,
I'm becoming my
God,
mom.
I'm becoming my mom. I'm becoming my mom. I have all these things. But it like clicked for me as I thought about Mother's Day, and I thought about us maybe kind of talking about this. It's like, there's so much of me, there's so much of her in me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I also understand that despite and throughout all the shit that of what my mom went through, she is the most generous person I know. Yeah. She is probably has the biggest heart that I know. And I also know that her collection of things for her is like, it's meaningful. It means for her, these moments happen. And then I think about of all the places we've ever lived, of all the places we ran to, of all the times that we had to pick up and move and my mom couldn't bring shit. There were times my mother was like, I would come home and my mom's like, we out. And I cried because I didn't have my toys. I couldn't get my toys. We couldn't get stuff. Yeah. And I look back and I'm like, she keeps stuff because these things happened and they happened to her kids. Yeah. And these moments happen. And so they mean things.
Hell yeah. So there's sentimental attachment, and that's what we learned from hoarders. Like, these people had these things because it meant so much, and when they got rid of it, it was heartbreaking for them because they felt like they were letting go of. They attach these things to the memories.
Sometimes people can see it as clutter, but it's not. It's comfort, and it's also like a life that has been lived.
Sure. Sure.
And an accumulation of times that you couldn't take shit with you. So now you keep shit.
Yeah.
Because of all the times you couldn't take your kid's shit or your shit or... So it means different. Now, granted, I don't need fucking 48 candles.
No.
We're going to get rid of that.
Yeah.
We're going to stop that shit.
Yeah.
But I have a lot more compassion. And I look at it differently.
Yeah.
But I have journals from when I was like 16 still. I have things that people have
but
given
journals
me.
are different. You know, like that's your story. You know, like, and I think there is discernment in things, right? Like there is, like you said, having 68 candles that you have no attachment to. You don't
and
need
a pesto maker.
And
when
a pesto, you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Sauce.
Versus a pot that the cast iron pot that was passed down, or something. You know, like that is the discernment between those things. And you know, for me, thinking of things that are passed down, I see the joy and the resiliency that my mother had, because she went through trauma. Her mother beat her. She has been sexually assaulted. You know, like she went through
these
things,
ladies,
and it's like to see her still smile through for life and still have joy and still crack jokes, and I see that light that she has that nobody was able to extinguish no matter what they did to her. I see that in me, and I take that. My grandma was, like you said, like your mom, one of the most generous, open-hearted people. She would welcome anybody. If somebody needed something, they got it. Like, I see that in me. Like, so it's like those things I carry.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to carry those things.
Yeah.
Because though they have their flaws and get on my nerves and did things that I would disagree with, or sometimes I feel like they gave up on themselves, there are beautiful things about them that I carry with me.
Yeah, and look what they made. Look what they did. You know, look what they did with you. So
yeah, same. Look what she did with you.
Yeah,
look
kudos.
At you.
Kudos. Like,
kudos,
you know,
to
these women, they shape you.
Yeah.
They shape you, and they are such a huge part of your story. So she taught me to chase freedom. She taught me to chase expansion. She taught me to chase something bigger than our household. And shit ain't always about some guy or something, or if you, you know, like step out. For you, it was school. For me, I was like, oh, I got to make money, because ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody going to be able to control you.
If I want to leave, I need to be able to leave.
Have the financial freedom to do so. That's it.
If I'm out, I'm out. And so I, you know, that's what that taught me. So I'm not gonna say I ain't never gonna be broke, but she ain't never been broke.
Okay, period. Okay. We ain't never gonna be long brokies over here, okay? We got a hustle spirit, baby.
Stay with a check. Stay with a check.
Period.
But yeah, so yeah, I look, you know, Mother's Day is it's a day, you know?
It is.
It's a day.
It's a day.
To honor. So yeah, deep respect, mad respect.
Yeah, mad respect.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. It is time for questions/listener letters. And we don't have a listener letter this week, but we have a question in our DMs. They said, would you do a lesbian version of Neo's Sister Wives? What? I don't even, wait a minute. First of all, I don't think there is a lesbian version of this. Honestly, we not doing this. We not having 4 wives. What lesbians you know, bisexual women you know that's trying to have, would you?
Listen, okay.
Or would you be a sister wife? Would you be a Neo and have a bunch of wives, or would you be a sister wife?
Okay, we have joked about this before. So me and Shiloh have had this conversation prior years ago, and I've joked about it before that I could be in a poly relationship. And then me and Shiloh have talked it out, and Shiloh said, don't really sound like it, because the poly relationship you talking about, Chelsea, sounds like...
She would be Neo. She wants to be Neo. Okay, so Neo has stipulations that his stipulations are... First of all, Neo don't have enough money to have me as a sister wife, period, okay? Because, baby, I need my own house, my own car.
Anything.
And I need to have the same freedoms that you have. I can fuck.
And all the same, because
he doesn't let them fuck anybody else. but he can do as he pleases, and that's
and
the
really,
stipulation.
Neo,
and that's what you was on.
And that's what I was talking about at some point. I was like, well, I could do it.
I want them to worship me
if they're not with anybody else but just me.
Such a Leo.
But it's not fair. I
want to be worshipped.
I understand that it's not fair. It's a Leo in me, but I understand that it's not fair. So technically, no, it would not be fair, and it would be toxic for anybody involved in a poly relationship with me. So I'm not going to do that to nobody. I also understand too that you really have to be like a level of maturity to like be ready for that sort of emotional toll that it's going to take for me to be in a relationship with 4 to 5 different women. I don't have the time. I don't have the space. I don't have the capacity. The emotional toll to be like, can we talk about something every day, every night, every time I come home?
$2 million in my bank account, for as long as we're going to do this, then maybe we got something to talk about. If you not balling like that, get out my face. Get out my face, because my life better be so much easier for me to deal with this bullshit. It has to be easy.
And I read a statement where he said everybody has their own role, right? And he was like, one makes the cereal for my kids. First of all, I ain't heard of nobody making cereal, but okay.
What?
One makes the cereal for the kids. One, does dinner. One does the laundry. And it's like, Neil, what do you do?
What do you do? Because you don't make enough money like that. I mean, unless maybe he just sold. Did he just sell his catalog? I got to see how much he sold it for, because baby, I don't see them balling out the way they should be. They all should be in furs. They should all be stepping out of Bentley Bottegas like I don't love my life. Like they should be out here living the life.
Neo. I mean, if y'all like it, I love it.
It ain't for me. But I am a one woman.
Yeah, I need monogamy. I
want my person. I want to come home to my person.
Yeah.
I want to go out and have my fun with my friends, and then come home to my person.
Yeah,
go out and have fun with my person, and then. Like I am a one-on-one girl.
Yeah, that's it. No one's trying to do all that and have different homes. And I'm sleeping over here with this one, and you spend the night on Tuesdays, and then
wait, get the fuck out of my face.
Get out of here. But no, I would not be doing a lesbian version of Sister Wives. But I am open to explore, take an experiment, and we'll see.
We got to talk about unicorns one of these episodes. That's how MVP started.
We do. We do.
Anyway.
All right.
That is the question of
the day. I love it. Well, listen, I got to hit y'all up. If this episode made y'all think about your mom, or the memories or the boxes you have yet to unpack, emotionally or otherwise, send it to someone who's been shaped by their mom in ways that maybe they're still trying to figure out. And if it's you, write your mom a letter, even if you don't send it. Look, it's real MVP energy only over here, okay? We don't judge. We just unpack.
Yep.
Piece by piece, box by box, y'all, okay? So hit us up on IG, MVP Podcast. Send us a note. Hit us in the DMs. Come through, slide through, say what's up. We love to hear from y'all. Real quick, speaking of DMs, somebody slid in my DM talking about, you've been on my mind a lot lately. I've been thinking about you. And I was like, what? It's an old coworker. I said, where did this come from?
They be listening to MVP. Somebody's lying in the DMs.
This person got a whole entire husband talking about you've been on my mind a lot lately.
Get the fuck out of here. Leave them on red. Not a whole husband.
Anyway, so that's not the type of DMs we want, y'all.
Nope.
But
don't send those to us, please. We don't want that.
Yeah, no offense to the person who sent it, but we're not talking about those type of DMs. Anyway.
All right, y'all. It's time for Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone. We have our first reality TV edition.
Ooh.
Okay? These are people that kind of either are all the way women love women, or they kind of swinging that way a little bit.
Okay.
So we have Mal from Queer Ultimatum.
She's a fan favorite.
We have Kyle Richards, who got her little lesbian on from Housewives, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, dating that little country singer.
Kyle been kind of fine, though.
For white women,
she been kind of fine.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. And then we have Miss Portia from.
And Portia been fine.
Okay, Portia been fine.
She been fine.
Who you fucking marrying and friend zoning?
Okay, I'm gonna make this real easy for everybody. I'm gonna say just real quick, Portia been fine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Kyle Richards, You've been fine.
Yeah.
I loved you and your husband together. I'm really sad that you broke up.
Yeah.
But who I'm a fuck, marry, and friend zone? I'm a fuck Mal. I'm a marry Mal. I'm a friend zone Mal. Mal. Ben had a crush on Mal.
That is not the fucking question.
Mal. That's the
Nigga.
answer.
Oh,
it ain't
my
the
God.
question, but it's the answer.
It's giving real Leo energy. Can
Mal,
you please?
Mal.
No, that's not what happens here. And you know that. You did not let this happen for me when I was struggling. I had to say I would fuck Raven Simone, and we all know I'm not doing that. So...
all right, off the top of the back, I got a friend zone Kyle. Ain't nobody marrying no fucking Kyle.
Okay.
Friend zone and Kyle.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fuck Portia.
Yeah.
I'm a marry Mal.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we knew was happening. Shut up. You're hilarious. Okay, this one's tricky for me because, you know, Mal's cool, but, you know, I'm a film girl. I like films, you know. So...
She's so attractive, though.
She is, but not for me. She's like tall and skinny.
No,
and,
but like even just her conversation, like she's just so attractive.
No, she is. That's why I'm a friend zone her. I think we would have cool times. Like I love her little, you know, mask, but you know when we get in our very feminine ways, like that whole thing she's got on them. Or it's with Autostraddle. Her little
my God,
her little skits, they're funny as fuck. But I think she's cool as hell. Yeah, we're gonna be good friends. I am, I guess, gonna fuck Kyle to kind of see what it'd be like. I've never been with a white girl ever.
I mean, Kyle. I mean, she's a baddie. I mean, you can't even y'all can't front on Kyle. Kyle's she been a little baddie though from the start.
White women don't do this for me. I mean, it's just. They don't. I'm sorry.
But if you had to choose that,
if I had to choose, I guess it's one night only. And Portia, baby, we get married. We get married, Portia. Come here, girl.
Portia got a little fatty. Portia
she got a little fatty. She cute.
She's pretty in the face.
Yeah. She high film.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
I love that for you. I actually really like that for you. This is a good one.
Y'all. Keep your heart soft, your vibes high, and stay in bloom.
All right, y'all.